Hello and welcome to Learning Music with Pat. On the last segment, I went over some of the various instruments that you can get that are woodwind, some of them better than others, but all of them interesting. I make a collection. I have over 300 instruments to my collection, including saxophones, clarinets, you know, the usual kind of instruments that you see. But a lot of people like to play the smaller instruments, the wind instruments, what I call the melody flutes, where you're not really playing with the keys and the pads and the reeds and all of this, octave keys and all of this. They're plain instruments, but they can play a lot of music. I know I've taken regular recorders and I've arranged classical music on them. And I know that at Christmas time, I usually play the Messiah, parts of the Messiah, at least once, on a simple little recorder. And it sounds very nice. It can be done. So a lot of these instruments I'm showing you are not really toys. They're regular instruments, especially the first note, the Casios and all of that, the Yamahas. But there are some that are more toy-like, but you can still play them, and kids love them. I once saw on television some professional musicians from an orchestra sit down on children's chairs, which, of course, they couldn't really fit. But they were having a blast. They took all children's instruments and toy instruments and played a concert with them. And they were enjoying themselves so much. It was so much fun for them. And music can be fun. And there's lots and lots of instruments to choose from that you can play. So I'm going to show you some more today, as I did with the last segment. And I know now that I'm going to probably need one more segment after this just to show you the recorder-like instruments. And that's not including things like ocarinas and melodicas and different other types of instruments that I have that I play. So I'm kind of confining this just to the musical instruments that I call melody instruments. And there are lots of them. Now here's one that's different. I've had it before it's made out of water pipe. This is PVC water pipe, and it plays. It's not easy to play, but it does play. So how did I get it? I had somebody call me one day and say, I'd like to see your instruments. Somebody told me that you have a lot of instruments. I love instruments, and I like to see them wherever I can. So I invited him, and he came over and he saw my instruments. And he says, as a gift to you, I'm going to give you an instrument that I personally made. And it's made out of water pipe, and it does play. And he said, have a good time with it. Take it to the beach. Sit on it. You know, if you get it full of sand, all you have to do is rinse it out. It'll be perfectly fine. And so it is an instrument that is playable. And, you know, you don't have too many instruments played out of water pipe, made out of water pipe, but this is one of them. And so I just wanted to bring that in to show you. I'm going to show you now 3 of these, but I want to show you 2. These 2 look very much alike. They're orange. You can see the tone holes. You see the Fipple mouthpieces. And this one is the same. It's orange. There is a difference between them. This is called Melody. Melody is probably about $1. You can buy them when they sell really inexpensive little musical toys. And you can see that this is brilliantly colored. It has 6 tone holes in the front, which is pretty traditional. Sometimes they have more. And then in the back, there's 2 places where you can put your thumbs. Let me put this one down for a minute. Your left-hand thumb going on this little area here, which is hard to see, because, of course, it's made out of the same plastic as the rest of the instrument. And then another little hook here. Now, this is Melody. That's the brand name. It is called Melody. They come in many, many bright colors. And they're fun for the kids to play with. And here's another Melody. Same brand name, same instrument. I have brilliant green ones, yellow ones. They come in all kinds of colors. The only problem with melody is that it really is a toy and it doesn't play very well. We'll compare it with, and I'm going to put it over here, the other orange one that I showed you. This one, it's a Pearl Piper. Now, doesn't it look about the same? I'm going to hold it by the mouth, by the bodies of the instruments, and hold it maybe like this so you can see the both of them together. It looks the same. Same color pretty much, same level of tone holes, same Fipple mouthpieces and all of that. Well, the difference is that this is a Pearl Piper. It's not a melody. It looks like it and would act like it, shaped like it, same color. It's a Pearl Piper. The Pearl Piper, I paid probably about $2 for it, and it plays very, very, very well. I've done solos on the Pearl Piper. I got 2 or 3 of them because I liked them so much, and they do very well. But you know, you wouldn't hardly know the difference if I hold them up together like this. I mean, they look so much alike. I've got red ones and blue ones. They look a whole lot alike. Some of them will play well, some of them won't. This is the melody, this is the Pearl Piper. The Pearl Piper is really worth the money because it does play well. The melody is just fun to play with. And of course, they come in all different colors, and that's one of the things that's good about them. Now, I want to show you a group of metal instruments. I have 4 or 5 of them here. So I'm going to just put them here in the front and pick them up once at a time. This is a penny whistle. I sometimes call them an Irish flute. They come in different sizes. But they're all metal. They're all metal except for the plastic top. The plastic mouthpiece, this blue mouthpiece is plastic. But you can see that if I can hold it just right and get it to rotate the way I want it to, so you can see the tone holes. There they are, the tone holes in the front. They kind of glint off the light. They're small, but there they are, right there. You can see them right there. The labium on top of them, which is right here, like right on the mouthpiece, and this is a mouthpiece with some kind of a shape that's similar to a recorder shape. They come in different sizes. I actually have one that's a couple of feet long. I didn't bring it in today. I have had it in before. So I'm concentrating on the smaller ones. They come in different keys. C, G, D. This one I think is in the key of D, and it's marked in the front. I don't know if you can see it, but it's marked in the front what key that it's in. You can see that little space up there. It says very clearly D. They play brilliantly. I've seen them played in regular orchestras. They play really brilliantly. There's no tone hole in the back. There's no thumb hole in the back. So they pitch 1 step difference than a recorder will pitch as a general rule. But they do play brilliantly. And so there go the lights, but they're back on again. So they play very, very well. I was introduced to them when I was sitting in an orchestra. I was playing flute, and there was another flute player, a friend of mine, beside me, and said, "Pat, have you ever played a penny whistle?" And I didn't know anything about it. And she says, "You've got to pick one up. They are just so much fun to play, and they're in perfect pitch." And I did. So now I have several of them, and they really play very well. So something that's similar to it is the fact of, let me see, this is a sweet tone. It's very much like a penny whistle. It operates the same way, but instead of being cylindrical, it comes to a point. So it's called a conical instrument. You can see that it kind of comes to the point. You can see the tone holes in the front. You can see the mouthpiece, which is a plastic. It's a plastic mouthpiece. It's black, and and this one here is also in the key of D, just like the penny whistle that I showed you. It's in the key of D. Plays brilliantly. It's really, in a sense, a type of penny whistle. If I bent it like this, you can see the tone holes easily. Very nice instrument. I have 2 or 3 of these in different keys. This one is in the key of D. I have another one in the key of C. So let me put this down. And this here is a sassoon. Now the sassoon is almost like a penny whistle. It's conical. I mean, it's a cylindrical. It goes all the way down, the same size. They come in different sizes. They come in different keys. They're tunable because you can take this and you can unscrew it. You can lift it up a little bit if you want to make the instrument a little flatter. You can't make it sharper. When it's down in its position. But you can take the mouthpiece and move it up a little and make it, it's like a head joint. It plays brilliantly. I have used this as much as I've used recorders. I can play anything with it. It's in perfect pitch, and your tone holes in the front are easy I've got my hands on it now, so you can see left hand on top and right hand on the bottom. There's nothing in the back for a tone hole, and there's nothing in the back to tell you where to put your thumbs. You just kind of have to find a place for them. But I've played a lots of music on it. I've played it so much. This is in the key of C. I have one in the key of D. I have one in the key of A, you know, and they're all very, very good. I've played this one so much that I've actually worn off part of the mouthpiece in the back. See that white area? It's just from my playing it over and over again. It's a wonderful instrument. Some of these metal instruments really are very, very good. Now here we have, this one is also metal, and this one is called, let me see, it's in the key of D, and it's just a metal instrument with, and I'm going to show this to you if I can, there is a wooden plug in the mouthpiece. It has a Fipple mouthpiece and a wooden plug. Well, the reason it has a wooden plug, it makes the tone a little softer. It doesn't change the pitch, but it makes the tone a little softer. And you have to blow a little harder to get air in it. It is a conical. It comes to a point, if we can pick that up. And it has a little different design on the mouthpiece. You can see the labium plays very, very, very well. And I've got another one that's similar to it, and this is Shaw's. Shaw's is in the key of E, but you can see how it is. It's metal. It looks black. It's not black. It's silver, but it looks black. It's got a wooden plug in the mouthpiece. It plays perfectly well. And if I get it right, you can see a little bit of the glinting of the light, and you can see that it's silver. A lot of these silver instruments, when light hits it, they look like they're dark gray or they look like they're black. I had my picture taken with one of my students. We were both playing flute, and then I did a flute solo. And somebody said to me, "You did well on your little black flute." I didn't know what he was talking about, but they'd taken pictures, and I could see in the pictures when the light hit it, it didn't look like a silver flute. It looked like a grayish gray, dark gray, or black flute. There's something about the way that it reflects light, but this is a silver flute. A silver melody flute, and if I hold it just right, you can see that wooden plug in the mouthpiece, and that makes for a softer tone, and it's also a little bit harder to play. Now this one is a Clark's, and it's also a metal flute. It's black. Whoops, and I'll hold it down. You can see that it has a wooden plug in the mouthpiece, and it comes to a point, so it's a conical instrument. It has a little design on it, but I'm not sure you're going to be able to see it. It's like a little diamond design by the tone holes. I don't think that's going to show up. Maybe if I get it just right. It's hard to see it. I mean, it's tiny, so it's hard for me to see it, and I'm sitting right beside it, so I doubt that you're going to be able to pick it up. But there it is. It's a conical instrument, metal. It's a Clark's, and the Clark's, this was in the key of D, and it plays very, very nicely. Now, some of these instruments are designed differently, but you can use them as professional instruments. They are professional instruments. And a lot of these, like clocks, I'm not sure where clocks is made, but a lot of the penny whistles, like I showed you, the first one with the blue plastic cover, they are made in England, a lot of them. And a lot of times we just call them Irish flutes, because if you listen to Irish music and all the dancing that goes on with Irish music, it plays it to a T. You'll never miss with it. I wished I could show you the diamond shapes on this, but I'm not sure it's going to come in. Maybe just a little bit. Plus, I don't want to take the chance and drop it either. Just trust me, it's there. It's just a design feature of the instrument. So you've got clocks, you've got shaws, you've got the penny whistles that are made in Great Britain, you've got the sweet tones. All of those instruments are like penny whistles. They're metal, they don't have a tone hole in the back, they have plastic mouthpieces, although some of the mouthpieces are metal. It's an extension of what the body is like, and they play brilliantly. And why not use them if they play brilliantly? And they really do play brilliantly. Now, let's see, what else do I want to show you here? I've shown you the Israeli instrument. Let me show you these two. Now, this one here is going to be an LMI. They're a student model. I buy them in this country. They do really, really well. This is an instrument that's made in Korea, and it's called an angel star. And it looks a lot like the LMIs. There's a little bit of difference in the design on the bottom of them. So I'll hold them from the top, and you can see that the bottom of them are designed a little bit differently. This has a white plastic part to it, so you can see the underside of it. It's plastic. This does not. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they're both made in Korea. The Angel Star is made in Korea, and I think some of the LMIs are made in Korea, although I buy them in the United States. They are a student model, and they play very, very well. I could use them in orchestras. I have used them in orchestras. The quality of the tone is very good, but aren't they alike? Alike and different. You're going to find so many instruments that are both alike and different, and that's the beauty of playing the woodwinds. So I think pretty much, I do want to show you these two flutophones made by the same company, and they play very, very well. You can get two designs to a flutophone. Most people prefer to get the white with the red trim. And you can see easily where the tone holes are, and that's one of the reasons I like to use the white one. The lighter ones, it's easier to see where the tone holes are, and you hold it exactly the same as you would hold any other woodwind. Left hand on top, right hand on the bottom, and there is a lower note right here, so you can get the low C. This one's in the key of C. It plays really, really well. This is the hand precision. Remember, I showed you the little Dixie one that I had, whose tone holes are raised. These are raised a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. So you can get the white with the red embellishment, or you can have the black with a white embellishment. They sound exactly alike. They play well. Now, I remember when I was going to have open heart surgery, I was limited very much in my wind capacity, and I was limited in what I could play. But I did solos every week in a church service where I went, and I used the little flutophones. When it got to the point where my heart was actually, I had about 3 weeks to live when I had my surgery, but I was still playing instruments, and I played the little flutophones. And the pitch was perfect. I chose simple music in the key of C, simple hymns, because I didn't have the air in my lungs to be able to play anything else. And they worked out just fine for me. They play very, very well. A lot of school systems use them as beginning instruments. And you can see, although there is a tone hole in the back, but you're only going to be able to get an octave plus 1 or 2 notes. And here you have your thumb on the thumb hole like you would in any other recorder, and then your right hand goes in the bottom, and this kind of like little hook arrangement. Maybe I should show you that on the white one because you'll be able to see it better. If you look at the black, here's the tone hole. It's called a thumb hole, but it is a tone hole. And it's raised up a little. And then this little thing here, where you just put your right hand and put your thumb in it to help balance it, it's just the perfect arrangement of how you're supposed to hold your fingers when you're playing a woodwind instrument. I don't care what the instrument is, this is the way that you're supposed to hold it. Left on top, right on the bottom, and sometimes you have a place to put your thumbs. If there's a thumb hole in the back, which there is in the flutophones, that's where your left thumb goes. Sometimes you have to lift it up for certain notes, otherwise you keep it down. And then a little place where you put your thumb, and that helps to balance the instrument. Now, penny whistles don't have a tone hole in the back, and so therefore, they pitch a little differently. You just find a place to put your thumbs. It's not designated. Now, this is a little song flute. The little song flute it comes to a point. Whoops, let me put it up here. It plays quite well. You can see that the tone holes are raised, as some of the instruments are. Let me hold it like this. You can see that the tone holes are raised. It plays a perfect octave. It has a mouthpiece that's very much like a Fipple mouthpiece. If I hold it just right, you can see the labium if the light hits it just right. And then, of course, you have your tone holes down here, and you hold it the same way. It gives you a perfect, you have even a little tiny hole at the bottom of it for the low C. It comes in perfectly well. I've used it a lot. When I first got it, it was in bad shape. My nieces and nephews had it, and they kept it in a car. Why you keep an instrument in a hot car during the summer and a cold car in the winter? It'll destroy the instrument. Well, it nearly destroyed this one, so they decided to give it to me. You can have this, Auntie Pat. It doesn't play anyway. And I'm thinking to myself, why would it? But I nursed it back to health. I just blew into it gently, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. It started making squawking noise and squeaking noises, and I realized when I got it to that point, it could repair. And I got it gradually, 1 or 2 notes a week is able to play. I ended up, before my heart surgery, playing solos on it, because it had resumed, it had been renovated just by my gentle care of it, not by doing anything special, but it responded to me and it started playing again. And I thought, well, that's a good sign. If it can respond, then I can respond for my heart surgery and maybe survive it. And so therefore, I consider it to be a success story that this little instrument plays. It plays well. I was in an orchestra and I started playing it and everybody stopped and looked, because it had a very unusual but very nice tone to it. They're very nice instruments. Do not discard or think down or bad about smaller instruments. They can do a wonderful job in teaching, in healing. They can be used for teaching tools. I use mine for teaching tools all the time. So I think we're getting to the point of I'm running out of time. So I am going to take one more segment in which I'm going to bring in instruments that I use a lot because they can show a lot of things about woodwinds and how to play, and I've kept them separate. I'll do that next time, so there will be more instruments coming in. So let's close it here. Please join me next time.